Wow, it's actually real. Today's going to be a fun day to talk about. I'm actually really excited to talk about this because the Oblivion remaster that we've been talking about for years is actually happening. We now have leaked images, and the crazy thing about this is that it looks even better than what I ever imagined that it would. I mean, going all the way back to the Activision Microsoft lawsuit, back then, some documents leaked online that Bethesda was planning a remaster of sorts for Oblivion. So we've had an inkling that this was being worked on in the background. But for starters, there was always that question if it would actually come to fruition, and if it ever actually did, well then, what exactly does remaster actually mean? There are varying qualities when it comes to that term. How much effort are they actually going to put into it? And yeah, I'm happy to say that I'm pleasantly surprised. Now, there is one criticism that I've seen online, but personally, I think it mostly looks pretty incredible, and we're going to talk all about that as well as its leaked release plans. So if you're a fan of RPGs, if you're a fan of Bethesda, or even if you're a fan of just Xbox Game Pass, well then stay tuned because this is a big deal. First, though, I do want to thank my supporters on Patreon and on YouTube memberships. Thank you just so much for what you do. I truly do appreciate each and every one of you. Let's go and get right into things, though, and before we even get to the Oblivion stuff, I first want to start off with some other Xbox Game Pass games that they just revealed today. Now, this really leans into that topic because over the next few weeks, I mean, it's going to be pretty busy for Game Pass subscribers. You really just got to love it. As long as you play consistently and often, Game Pass is really the never-ending gift, and that'll start off with these 12 games. This month's second wave includes the game preview for Towerborn, Expedition 33, Modern Warfare 2, GTA 5, Crime Scene Cleaner, Dredge, Timpopo, Far Cry 4, Anno 1800, Patrick Star the Game, and then, last but not least, the indie darling that is Neon White. Now, some of these games will be for Ultimate, whereas others are becoming available for Standard. Do kind of keep that in mind, but this is a very strong lineup of games. I mean, you have Call of Duty and GTA 5 in the same lineup, which are quite literally some of the most popular games. And then also Neon White, which is a really unique indie speed running shooter. It's a weird combo, but a very good one at that. But then we also have what I love about Game Pass, the day one releases. And that starts off with Towerborn. Now, this is a brand new IP from the creators of Banner Saga, which, if you don't know, Stoic Studio has talent from the old BioWare days, and I'm not talking about the Velguard days. No, we're not talking about that. I'm talking about back when BioWare was killing it with great game after great game, like Mass Effect and the original Dragon Age. Those creators. Now, however, the Banner Saga being their first series under their new studio were tactical RPGs, and really very good ones at that. As you can see here, though, Towerborn is really another shift for them, being a cooperative beat-em-up. But again, Stoic Games is definitely a studio that has the pedigree to, I'd say at least, to keep it on your radar. Hopefully, they can deliver another great experience. It's also technically a first-party Xbox game, as Xbox is the publisher here. So it'll be available on April 29th, but by far, the one game that I'm the most interested in here is Expedition 33. This is a new AAA JRPG with high production value. I mean, this is really unique for this genre. Most higher-end JRPGs by this point kind of keeps that anime or cartoon look to them. But this is going for really more of a realistic undertone. But despite its realism, this studio clearly has love for JRPGs and its history. It takes inspiration from some of the greatest ever made, including really one of my all-time favorites, being Lost Odyssey. I mean, that right there is the one that reminds me the most of, especially when it comes to its combat. So that alone sold me on this game right away. And then as soon as I saw that it also has an overworld like retro JRPGs, that's really when I kind of knew that this studio understands fans of the genre and what we want. So let's just kind of hope Expedition 33 is as good as it looks when it releases on April 24th. My only fear for Expedition 33, though, is that it will be good, but it'll still get overshadowed because Oblivion, allegedly, is going to release the same week. Yeah, you heard that right. The Oblivion Remaster seems to be planned for the week of April 21st. So we should get an official announcement here sometime very soon with a shadow launch. And the reason that we know that this game is now 100% real and that this is no longer just a simple rumor is because images leaked on its developer's website, being Virtuous Games. Now, Virtuous has since corrected their website that took it down, but you all know how the internet works. It's done too late. It's already out there, and these images aren't going anywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and flash some of these on screen here, and you'll notice right away that this is a massive upgrade from the original 2006 title. And for me, that was always kind of the biggest question. I mean, I was already convinced that this was a real game. We'd heard so much about it that, where there's smoke, there's a fire. But the title, quote-unquote, remaster, I think that's where my question came in, and now that I'm seeing it, it really was just kind of misleading. This really kind of reminds me of the Metroid Prime Remaster situation, where it really seems to be more of a flat-out remake than a simple remaster. In this case, though, allegedly, Oblivion is utilizing Unreal Engine 5, and you can definitely see it. This is a night and day difference compared to the original. It looks pretty incredible for the most part, but I have seen one complaint, and that's really that this image here lacks the vibrant colors that the original Oblivion had. The original really popped off screen with its fantasy-esque setting, and the colors really sold it. But for whatever reason, this image just doesn't have that aspect to it. Now, some of these other shots, I'd say, are a little bit more fitting to its old art style, but, I mean, I can understand why some people don't like this more monotone art style. Are they going a little bit too realistic in some situations? That's kind of a question here. And I mean, I guess we'll see as we start to see it in real time. And again, apparently very soon at that. One of the really cool things that leaked as a part of these images, though, is that there will be a physical version. And by the way, yes, there is horse DLC for anybody that wanted that to come back. I know some of you all might have been a little bit concerned that it wouldn't get that. And truthfully, I mean, for me, I actually was concerned about a physical release, just given that it's going to be a shadow launch. Now, you'll probably have to wait a little bit longer to play the physical version because I doubt it's going to be in stores the same day. But apparently, physical collectors will have the option to buy it on disc, which really is better than nothing. Now, will all of its data actually be included on its disc? That's been an ongoing concern here recently, especially when it comes to Xbox-published games. We just saw that happen with Indiana Jones. So I'm hoping for the best here. And, I mean, I guess we'll just have to kind of wait and see. All in all, though, I'm super satisfied with these leaked images. I think it looks really good, and it shows that Oblivion is getting the attention that it truly deserves, and that's what I'm most excited about here. Skyrim really catapulted the Elder Scrolls series to new heights, but Oblivion that came before it is arguably just as good, albeit maybe a little bit more archaic. It's not as easy to go back and play for modern players, but this remaster, I'd say, has a chance to change that, and this legitimately has a chance to be just one of the best games this year, even though technically it is a 2006 title. Let me know what you all think about all this, though. Do you like what you're seeing here, and are you excited about the return of Oblivion? I know for me, absolutely. Now, one more thing before we go, we got another update for the Nintendo Switch 2 and its pre-orders. I mean, the Switch 2 and its reveal has just kind of been a whole saga, a very chaotic one at that, but there does seem to be a light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully a bright light with the same $450 price tag. Cross my fingers for that, but by all indication, we should get the official announcement here in the coming days. My guess is that Nintendo will make that announcement at the Mario Kart World Direct on the 17th, but what's happening here is that Bilbo-kun, which has a great reputation for leaks, said this over on Twitter X. Upcoming release. From what I can see through some Canadian retailers, Nintendo Switch 2 console and bundle pre-orders should start from April 23rd, 2025, valid in Canada. Date subject to change. Can't confirm if it's the same for US. I'll keep you updated if it changes. Now, if this turns out to be true, which, there is still an if here, could this be a placeholder? We'll have to wait and see, but if it is, I believe this will include the United States as well, because the reason Canada got delayed in the first place is because they wanted to match its pre-orders up with the United States. Now, I don't really understand the reasoning behind that decision. Some people have theorized that it's to keep scalpers from the United States from buying up Canadian consoles. I don't really know, nor do I really care. But what I do care about is the official announcement and the official pre-order period. Hopefully we'll get that news here in just a few days, and hopefully it will be the 23rd as is claimed here. Hopefully we don't have to wait until next month, but overall, I think we've gotten some fairly good news for the Switch 2 pre-orders this week. As we talked about yesterday, it sounds like Nintendo is prepared with a lot of supply. I mean, that's a huge thing, just given that this is an extremely anticipated release. A lot of people are going to try to buy it day one, and then, of course, we're going to have to battle all those scalpers and bots online. So, truthfully, beyond just the date, I really just want a smooth pre-order experience. But, yeah, I'm kind of expecting the worst. Anyways, though, that's going to be it for this episode. But until next time, make sure to subscribe, ring that bell, and peace out.